Welcome to your hour of indulgence. It's a whole hour to yourself to get into the body, to relax, to breathe. You might be surprised to see me standing right now. You might be thinking, I thought this was supposed to be relaxing, and it is. Do not fear. I'm standing because we will start this practice in a standing forward fold at the back of the mat. So you can come and stand at the back of the mat and then bend your knees generously as you release the upper body forward. And if this feels like too much right at the start here, it might be a lot for the hamstrings. We can start with elbows onto the knees. So placing your elbows on the knees or on the thighs, I should say, and still releasing the head and the neck down. We're here for 3 minutes in the standing forward fold. So starting slow here, elbows on thighs, getting into the hamstrings slowly, releasing the head and neck. Feel free to make some yeses and some nos with the head. Perhaps starting with 3 deep breaths. Taking a nourishing inhale through the nose. Inhale. And a big relaxing sigh out the mouth. And one more big inhale in. Big sigh out. One more big inhale. And let it out. And now maybe you feel ready to let go of your arms, of your elbows, so completely releasing the upper body forward towards the floor. Again, you can always keep that very generous bend in the knees. Perhaps you'd like to hold on to opposite elbows to place more weight into the upper body. Perhaps swaying left to right. Continuing to take those big, peaceful, relaxing breaths. Indulge in the breath. Taking some big sighs, some big audible sighs out the mouth. Indulge. Doing whatever feels good. Any variation of the pose is good. You're here for about 30 more seconds. Slowly, perhaps finding more space in the body as you stay in the pose. Slowly, perhaps being able to straighten your legs a little bit more without that ever being the goal. And then from here, come in heel toe, your feet to bring them as wide as your mat. Turn the toes out and the heels in. We'll find yogi squat, malasana. So bending the knees, sitting the hips low. And here we are in a yin class, not a vinyasa class. So your malasana, yogi squat, does not need to be very active. So in a traditional vinyasa class, we normally press the elbows into the knees and actively press the knees back in towards the elbows. That's not necessary here. So with your arms, you can do whatever feels comfortable. Maybe you'd like to hold on to opposite elbows or just let them dangle, bringing your hands to the floor, or any other variation that feels good. It's also okay to round the upper back here. So if you'd like to release the head, to round the upper back, reaching forward towards the floor, that's okay. So no strict instructions here, being a little intuitive, feeling into this pose and into how you want it to be. Another minute here. Feel free to close your eyes at all times. And if you notice your mind wandering throughout this class, that's okay. It's normal, it's what the mind does. And anytime you notice that, you can simply gently guide your mind back to your body, back to your physical sensations, and back to your breath. So, with that, come and sit onto your bum, finding Sukhasana, cross legged pose. Elongating the spine, bringing the hands to your knees just for a few breaths. Closing the eyes. Simply here to observe how you feel. We're a few minutes into our practice. How do you feel? Is there already a difference or not? Either way is fine, just noticing. Paying attention. Cultivating this mindful quality. Noticing. All right, then open your eyes and transition to a tabletop position. Find your journey there, the one that works for you. And then from here, my friends, come and bring your right foot forward in between both hands at the top of the mat. And scooch the left knee back in space. Now from here, interlace your hands over your right thigh and press into the right thigh to find length in the upper body. Low lunge pose. We are here for 3 minutes. It might be feeling intense in the left hip. That's okay. Taking some big breaths. Letting that left hip melt towards the floor as you keep reaching the upper body up towards the ceiling. So it's like the body is moving in two opposite directions. The hip is moving down towards the ground as the upper body reaches up towards the ceiling. Progressively allowing that left hip to melt more and more towards the floor. Progressively letting go of any resistance in the body. Releasing here. So this can be quite a bit of sensation. It's normal. If you feel any pain though, I'll ask you to back out of the pose a little bit. As long as it's just a stretch, even an intense stretch, bring your mind to your breath. And see if you can welcome, see if you can embrace those big sensations. Anytime your mind wanders, there's only one thing to do. Notice your next inhale. And notice your next exhale. We're here for another minute. See if you can release even further. Where are you contracting unnecessarily, and can you let it go? I'll leave you in silence here for a while with your breath. Good, my friends. Then slowly bring the right knee back to your tabletop position. And then from tabletop, come and cross the right knee behind the left knee. And we'll find cow face pose sitting on the floor in between your feet. So you can either sit on the ground or sit up on the block if it's a little too intense. And so your left knee here is stacked over the right knee. Your feet are to your sides. So you're not sitting onto your feet. You're sitting either on a block or on the floor. Your feet are to the side. You can hold onto your feet here and lengthen the spine. Again, we are here for 3 minutes. For the moment, simply finding length in the upper body. There's going to come a point where we might want to fold forward. Maybe, maybe not. For the moment, simply working on finding length, introducing the pose here. We don't immediately want to go into the full extent of it. It's good to just introduce ourselves to it, get familiar with it. Take a few deep breaths in the entry point of the pose. So if you're sitting up on a block and you feel like you want to go deeper now, feel free to remove the block to sit on the ground. And if you are on the ground, there's the option now to fold forward. So if you have blocks, perhaps folding forward and placing the forehead onto your blocks, you can stack them at the highest heights, allowing the arms to rest in front of you. Folding forward in whatever way makes most sense for you, and you're here for about another minute or so. If you have folded forward, lift the upper body back up. Good, and then before we do the other side, undo that knot with your legs. Place your legs, elongate your legs in front of you. Feel free to give them a little wiggle here, a little shake. And then finding windshield wipers, place your feet flat on the ground, as wide as the mat. Hands come behind you, finding length in the upper body, and then dropping your knees to the left and to the right. At the pace that works for you, just resetting the hips a little bit. And we're ready to do the other side. So find your transition back to tabletop position. And then step the left foot forward in between both hands, scooching the right knee back in space. Clasping your hands over the left thigh and pressing into the left thigh to lift the upper body up. Allowing the right hip to melt towards the floor. So like I was just saying, first we introduce the pose. We introduce ourselves, our body to the pose. So you do not need to go to the full extent that you know you can go to. It's okay to start slow. It's okay to scope it out. And then progressively, with the guidance of your breath, progressively letting go of the resistance. Progressively, your brain will understand that it's safe to be here and will let you release, will let you relax into it. These are big sensations. You're halfway through. Keep breathing. I'll leave you here in silence. Focus on your breath. Be with your breath. You're almost there. Take 3 deep breaths. And then as you're ready, make your way back to tabletop position. Great job. Cross the left knee now behind the right knee. Your feet come onto each side and then sitting either on a block or on the floor. Either way, holding onto your feet and finding length in the upper body. Reaching the crown of the head up. So this might be intense in the hips, but notice if there's a sense of release in the lower back. That's always my case. It tends to feel intense in the hips, but it feels so good in the lower back. It feels like the lower back is free. It removes any pressure from the lower back for me. If you're sitting up on a block and you feel ready to remove it, you can feel free to go there now. And for those of you who are sitting on the floor, feel free to incline the upper body forward. Maybe resting your head on 2 blocks. Your arms can come forward as well. Either way, perhaps closing the eyes and breathing really deeply. So whether you are up on a block, down on the floor, or even folding forward, using your breath as your main guide, your main tool throughout this practice to indulge, to find ease, to find relaxation. This is an hour that you have set aside for yourself. So make sure to fully be here, to fully take it in, to fully enjoy it. Take a big inhale in, my friends, and a big exhale out. If you have folded forward, lift the upper body back up. And then again, undo this knot with your legs, elongate your legs in front of you, and feel free to give them a little shake, a little wiggle. And then again, finding our windshield wipers like before, feet on the mats, as wide as the mat, hands behind you, and dropping your knees to the left and to the right. Really good. Finding a quad stretch now, a thigh stretch. Come and sit onto knees and heels in Virasana pose. And then from here, you're going to open your knees out. So separate your knees. From here, I want you to tuck your tailbone under. So by that, I mean the opposite of arching your back. When you're arching your back, you're shifting your pelvis forward. Here, I want you to shift your pelvis backwards as if you're trying to round the back. Okay? Now you can either stay here, or you can place your hands behind you, begin to lean back. The more you tuck the tailbone, the more you'll feel a stretch in the thighs. Perhaps placing your elbows on the ground. Continue to tuck the tailbone actively. It's going to require a little bit of a physical effort to continue keeping that tailbone tucked under. Your lower back is going to want to overarch in this pose. We don't want to let it do that. So if you feel a big arch in the lower back, think of tilting that pelvis backwards, tucking the tailbone. If this is feeling okay, perhaps some of you will want to lie down all the way onto your back. And if that's what you're doing, your arms can come wherever comfortable. Some options are hands on your stomach, or arms by your sides, perhaps palms face up, or even arms behind you, maybe holding onto opposite elbows. So whatever feels good, and remember, we don't want too much pressure in the lower back. We don't want it to overarch. So continue to actively tuck the tailbone, tilt the pelvis back in space. And if you feel like it's difficult to do that and like there's too much pressure in the lower back, I want you to back out of the pose a little bit to come to the option before the one that you are on. You can allow yourself to close the eyes and to indulge here for another couple of minutes. The quads are one of the biggest muscles in the body, and I find these big stretches on big muscles so relaxing, so soothing. So enjoy here, and the more you tuck the tailbone, like we've been talking about, the more you'll feel that stretch in the tops of the thighs. Another minute or so. Take a big inhale through the nose. Inhale. And let it out the mouth. Propping yourself back up onto your elbows if you're lying down. And then everybody lifting the upper body back up, sitting back onto knees and heels. Take a big inhale here through the nose. And a big exhale. Come find your Sukhasana again, sitting cross-legged. Palms of the hands on the knees, long spine, closing the eyes, and just checking in. Resetting. Asking, how am I doing? And what do I need? How am I doing? And what do I need? Good, my friends. Take a big inhale in. And a deep exhale. Now find your way to lie down onto your stomach. You can make a little pillow with your hands here. Place your forehead onto your hands. And come and hike your right knee toward your right elbow, finding a really gentle hip stretch here. And maybe turning your head to the left, so placing the right ear onto your hands or onto the ground. It's really gentle here. Notice the gentle sensation in the right hip. We're here for 3 minutes. And I know sometimes in these poses it might feel like we're not doing anything, but we're doing so much. We're in the body, we're breathing. This is enough. It's enough. Let it be enough and indulge here. It doesn't always need to feel intense. It doesn't always need to feel hard. Sometimes it can just feel easy and restful, and that's enough. Another minute or so, my friends. Can you breathe a little deeper? What would you do if you wanted to indulge more? What would it look like if you were to fully allow yourself to indulge here in this practice today? And then from here, you have the option of staying right where you are. Or maybe you'd like to come up onto your elbows. Keep the right knee where it is, coming up onto the elbows, finding a little bit of a back bend here in this pose. Pressing the elbows into the floor, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Good. Then coming back down, lengthening the right leg back. And then again, come up onto your elbows. And a shoulder stretch here slides the left arm underneath the right arm. Palm of the left hand facing up. Then stretch the right arm forward and place the forehead on the ground. So you should be feeling a nice stretch in the left shoulder here. It's as if you were lying flat onto your stomach with the right arm stretching forward, except that the left arm is slid under you. Another minute or so here, my friends. Okay, my friends. The right hand under the right shoulder and press into the right hand to come back onto your elbows. And then again, lie all the way down, making a pillow with your hands. And we'll hike the left knee up towards the left elbow. This time, bringing the left ear onto the ground, turning the head over to the right. Gentle hip stretch on the left side. Closing the eyes. Allowing that left hip to release towards the floor more and more. Always noticing if there are any unnecessary contractions in the body. And if so, letting them go simply by placing our loving attention onto them. Let go, my friends. Indulge, my friends. This is a time for yourself. You can be so proud for setting this time aside for true, profound relaxation. So be here with it. Be in your practice. Take a big inhale. And an exhale out the mouth. Big audible breaths here. And then you can stay right where you are, or again, you have the option of coming up onto your elbows, finding a little back bend, keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, lower down, stretch the left leg back. Then come up onto your elbows. And this time, slide your right arm underneath your left arm, palm of the right hand facing up. Good. And then stretching the left arm forward and placing your forehead on the ground. Take 3 more breaths here. Take a big inhale in. And a big exhale. A big inhale. A big exhale. Last time, big inhale. And let it out. Okay, bring the left hand back underneath the left shoulder to press yourself out of the pose. And then, my friends, bring your hands under the shoulders, lazily press yourself up onto hands and knees. Then shift your feet over to one side to place the feet on the ground in front of you. Find a block if you have one. We'll find supported bridge. So for that, you're lying down flat on your back. Feet are close to the pelvis. Press into the feet to lift the hips up. And then stack your blocks, 2 blocks, one on top of the other on minimum height underneath the sacrum. And so that you can rest onto your blocks. It's like bridge pose, but with 2 blocks supporting you, 2 blocks on minimum height. If you do not have blocks, I want you to find constructive rest pose. Feet as wide as the mat, toes turning in. and resting your knees against each other. Otherwise, you're in supported bridge. Your arms can be either by your sides or hands on the stomach, or again, arms behind you holding onto opposite elbows, whatever feels good. We're here for 3 minutes. Closing the eyes, indulging in the release that we feel in the lower back in this pose. Some of you might also enjoy straightening your legs here, although it might feel intense in the lower back, so see how it feels. But I know some people like to stretch the legs. It's typically not my case, I'm just providing options. See what feels good for you today, and that can change day by day. Ask yourself, what do I need? What do I want? What do I need? Why am I here? And let yourself reap the benefits of our practice today. Now from here, my friends, we'll find legs up the wall. So if you have your blocks, you're only going to need to pull your knees towards you and then lift your legs up. And you'll need to find the proper placement with your blocks so that it feels effortless. If the blocks are in the right place, you'll be able to lift your legs up without requiring any muscle engagement, especially not the core. My blocks typically need to be a little bit further towards the front of the mat, so really on the edge of the sacrum. And it really shouldn't feel like an effort at all. If you don't have blocks, simply go by a wall, sit by a wall, and stretch your legs up a wall. Okay? Enjoying the sensations in your legs. Reversing the blood flow here. Perhaps noticing that at some point the legs become a little colder, a little cooler. Just being mindful of everything that's going on. Alright, then pull the knees back in towards your chest. Place your feet on the ground in order to remove your blocks. And so we're lying down on our back now, and bring your knees into your chest. Drawing some circles here to massage the lower back onto the floor in whatever way makes sense for you, in whatever way feels good for you. Drawing some circles with the knees in whatever way feels best to massage the lower back onto the ground. We have a few minutes left to this practice, my friends. Notice if you're still in it. And if you're not, come back. Keep coming back. So you can reap all the benefits and so you can indulge fully, enjoy fully. And then we'll find Shavasana. And I'll give you a moment to get whatever you need. If you want to get a blanket, a sweater, some socks, whatever it is that would feel nice for a restful Shavasana. With arms by your sides, palms face up. All right, closing your eyes if that's not already the case. Let's take a big inhale through the nose. Inhale it in. And out the mouth. One more inhale. And let it go. Come back to your normal breath. And mentally repeat after me, my friends. My feet are relaxed. My calves are relaxed. My knees are relaxed. My thighs are relaxed. My hips are relaxed. My glutes are relaxed. My stomach is relaxed. My chest is relaxed. My back is relaxed. My shoulders are relaxed. My upper arms are relaxed. My elbows are relaxed. My forearms are relaxed. My hands are relaxed. My neck is relaxed. My face is relaxed. My head is relaxed. My whole body is completely relaxed. My whole body is completely relaxed. My whole body is completely relaxed. So I'll leave you here in silence to marinate now, to simmer in this feeling of complete relaxation, in this state of total rest for a couple of minutes. Indulge here. Indulge. All right, my friends, begin to deepen your breath. And then very slowly, beginning to wiggle the fingertips and the toes, bringing movement back into the body. Keep your eyes closed. Maybe you'd like to shift your head side to side. Slow movements. Maybe circling the wrists and ankles, anything that would feel nice as long as you're keeping your eyes closed. Perhaps stretching the arms all the way back behind you, giving your body a full body stretch. Indulge. Maybe you'd like to pull your knees in towards your chest. And then at some point, with eyes closed, rolling onto the right side of the body as if you were sleeping onto your right side. And then slowly, lazily, using your top hand to press you up to a seated position, Sukhasana. Cross-legged pose, long spine. Perhaps bringing your hands together in front of the heart. And we'll end with 3 deep breaths. Take a big inhale in. And a big sigh out the mouth. Big inhale in. And a big sigh. One more. Take an inhale. And let it go. Bring your hands onto your knees, palms face up. And now you can stay here, my friends, in meditation if you wish. Or you can choose to close your practice. Either way, thank you for joining me for this practice today. And I'm sending lots of love your way.